Hi everyone, it's Joe here. Hope you're all doing well. In this little video today I want to talk a little bit about assumptions and how they can affect our manifestations, and I'm going to talk a little bit about a technique that I've used to try and rid myself of old assumptions and old beliefs. So we'll start off straight away by trying to define what an assumption is. So Neville, as you know, massive Neville fan, talks a lot about the law of assumption and how ultimately what we assume to be is ultimately what creates your reality. So to give an example, you're trying to manifest a dream job, but your assumption about that could be I'm underqualified, there's people out there that are more qualified than I am, there's people out there that are better than I am. And the thing is, these little assumptions, they may seem harmless, but ultimately what's happening with these assumptions is they're creating beliefs which are stored deep in the subconscious, and these beliefs is ultimately what's operating our day-to-day lives. So if we have that belief deep within that we can't really manifest this, we can try as many techniques that's out there, but ultimately we're going to fail because the belief is ultimately what we assume to be real. Neville says quite often, I believe he quotes this from scripture, what seems to be is to those it seems to be. Now for some people you might find that difficult to understand, but to break that down, it's effectively what you believe to be true will be true to you. That will be your reality. So what he means by that is whatever seems to be real in your current perspective, in your current world, it will be real, but it will only be real to you. So the important thing is to understand where that belief, that assumption comes from and how we can change it. Now the reason I was inspired to make this video is because at the start of last week I was feeling a little bit strange about certain things, certain areas I was trying to manifest in, and ultimately I really thought about it and I thought there must be some form of beliefs in there which are making it difficult for me that I'm operating by on a day-to-day basis. So this little technique, I'm going to offer it out there. You may find it helpful. I know there's a lot of techniques out there for beliefs, a lot of meditations where you can also do self-love meditations, which is very important. But this technique, I believe, for me especially, I done this on Thursday and it's made a massive difference just in my day-to-day life because of not only have I realised what beliefs were stored, I'm also acknowledging them and understand where they came from. And now that's the first step to then being able to replace these beliefs with ones that are more aligned to what you're trying to manifest. So the technique is simple. So it was basically a 10-15 minute meditation at first, just to really get deep, to connect within, straight into the deep breaths, just relaxing, allowing thoughts to come and go. Not really focusing on doing anything particular, but just letting thoughts come and go. Then once I was in a deep state, I asked myself, what's happening inside me that's creating this anxiety, this frustration, this resistance, if you will. And beliefs came up, there was no force upon them, things just started to arise. As they arose, I stopped and I wrote them down. Simple piece of paper, so all you need, one sheet of paper, split it into two columns. The first column is going to be the beliefs that you're currently storing there. So for me it was stuff like, it's taking too long, or this seems too big to manifest, I'm not worthy, just things were coming up. As I was writing them, during that process, really feel what you're writing. It's really important to take in what you're writing down. Okay, so when you're writing that out, and as you're writing down these current beliefs, understand that they've came from somewhere, but they no longer serve you. So just write them down, don't judge them, don't try to shun them, just acknowledge them, accept them, and then go deep within and find what is the majority of the time it's going to be the mirror opposite to what you've written, to what you currently believe. So from your initial belief, right at the next column, on to counteract that belief. Well, not necessarily counteract, that's probably the wrong term. To replace the current belief. So for me, one of the beliefs was, this is taking too long. I replaced that with time, and I always say this, time is a man-made concept and it doesn't exist because everything in our lives exists in the now. Okay, so time doesn't exist. For me, that it cleared a huge block of resistance, because my resistance being this is taking too long is ultimately cleared by time doesn't exist. And that's where Neville also talks about living in the end. You bring the future into now by living as you would if you had already manifested. Okay, so that instantly cleared that. Another belief was, I can't create, this is too big, this is too difficult. And that was simply replaced by, I am God. Neville talks about God being within as the imagination. So to try and summarise, it's not really about the size of what you're trying to manifest, because nothing's too big. A specific person shouldn't be as difficult to manifest as manifesting a cup of coffee, or manifesting a gift, or manifesting help, anything. There's no scale when it comes to this. It's just ultimately what we assume and what we believe to be true about ourselves and about others, in particular with a specific person. If you assume that person never wants to see you again, you're going to get that. Flat out, you're going to get that. If you assume that that you are loved by this person, that you are wanted, that you are the priority, if you automatically change those assumptions, that's what you're going to create. If you assume that it's taking too long, you're going to get more of it taking too long. Okay, so the important thing is to really focus on what you're currently assuming, and the only way to do that is to go deep within, and then when you discover what you've been assuming all this time, don't judge it, don't try and, reject it, don't have a negative reaction to it, just acknowledge it. Simply acknowledge that these beliefs have been stored through conditioning, through your life, and just accept them. When you can acknowledge and accept them, that clears resistance. That ultimately lets those beliefs go away. If you're trying so hard to get rid of them, they'll keep coming back, because you're putting focus on the belief itself, okay? So understand the belief. That's probably step one. Understand the belief. Second, acknowledge the belief. And then the third step is to find a belief more aligned with what you're trying to manifest. Ultimately, it's just practice. It just takes practice. But I found that by writing down what beliefs were coming up through me, I found just by simply writing that down, it made a massive difference. And it let me understand where these beliefs came from. And it let me really connect within to see that these beliefs no longer served me. And what actually served me, again, also came through meditation, because that was me really connecting inside. It wasn't through ego, it wasn't through thought, it was all stuff, this is what properly aligns with me now. Okay, so if you want to try this technique, go ahead. If anyone has any questions on it, feel free to drop me an email. The email's in the description below. Feel free to comment on this video if you've got any questions. If you like the video, fire away and subscribe. As I said, I offer coaching as well down below as well. But yeah, hopefully this helps. I'm hoping to do some more videos soon. If you try this technique, I'd love to hear the feedback and see if it's made any difference to your day-to-day life. All I can give is my personal experience, and it made a huge difference to me. By carrying this out, it made me much more relaxed. If the old belief ever arose again, I was able to smile at it and accept it, realising it didn't serve me anymore, and then switched immediately to the more aligning belief, which majority of the time was, I am God, I am loved, I can manifest anything I want. And to get to that standpoint, that would be really, really important for people, and you'd get some massive results. If you truly believe that you can manifest anything, then nothing's going to stop you. In my opinion, nothing's going to stop you. Because you can try all these techniques. A lot of people, I feel, they try so many techniques. We try meditations, we try whispering techniques, we try everything that's out there. And a lot of the time it's to try so hard to change the belief, to actually make us believe that we can do this, okay? You could try all these techniques till you're blue in the face, but if you don't assume or believe that you can attract anything that you want, then the techniques are going to be completely futile. Okay, so it's so important to get to the root of what you assume on a day-to-day basis, what you believe on a day-to-day basis. And when you can get to that point, you'll understand manifesting will come much simpler. You'll feel more at peace, you won't feel as resistant to what's currently happening in your outside reality, and you'll start to feel more empowered. The reason being, you can actually start seeing what's going on and understanding that you are ultimately creating it, and you're creating it by your assumptions and by your beliefs. So as I said, hopefully this video has helped. Feel free to comment below, subscribe if you liked, hit the bell icon, and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Okay, take care.